I think always focusing on process-based learning opportunities. So looking at the process of learning and not necessarily on the product that you're trying to ask your students to come up with. It really allows for problem solving and for them to have autonomy in the learning process. So I think just focusing on that as your baseline and then building experiences that are multisensory, and really just allow the kids to take ownership in their learning, be a part of the process. I think that the creative process starts, especially whenever we're talking about early childhood, right? Like we have kids that come in and some may consider them stubborn, but really they just want so much autonomy. And for an educator, when they come into the classroom, my goal is to provide choice in every opportunity so that they feel like they're a part of that. So we may have a center with blocks and just the untrained eye, right? It just looks like a bin of blocks. But to an early childhood educator, we are assessing their spatial reasoning. We're assessing their capacity their fine motor skills. We're assessing their capacity to use their imagination to explore their world. My favorite thing about working with young learners is that they're not afraid to tell you what they don't know. They're not afraid to ask questions that are more detailed than you could ever imagine to have prepared for. And they keep you on your toes. Yeah. And I think that level of engagement is so inspiring. And really, I just think that all of us could learn so much more if we learn to engage in our world in the same way. So while the preschool is a huge chunk of what I do, it's not all of what I do. I actually am also the director of the summer class programs, also known as like our camps. I also do after school art clubs for some of our older kids. I help run the field trips that we have come in. I really get to do it all, and I really get to work with a lot of different ages. And again, no day is the same and no hour is the same, so I don't get bored. I think that sometimes, as a society, we get caught up in the really practical standards that we're trying to get these children to learn. And I think we forget that the arts really are a platform to learn all of those base knowledge, right? So you can learn math and you can learn literacy and language arts through the lens of art and the creative process. Yeah. And that's really the goal of the preschool. And really all of our programming for youth is to make sure that everything is tied back to academic standards to really ground the arts and make them continue to be important, and to show that you can use the arts to teach all of those other outlets, math, language arts.